Okay then guys, what is going on? My name is Plays and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today we're going to be going through the faster ways to level up as an Outrider. Now we all know that there is a lot going on in this game and you have a lot to level up. Mainly the Apocalypse tiers and the Ascension levels, which are essentially going to get you the points that you need to give you the gear that you want. And this is practically the long story short. Your Ascension levels are going to give you the leveling for all of the extra requirements such as the long range damage, the weapon damage, being able to add in their anomaly power and stuff like that. The PAX points aren't too bad to level up, and that's just the truth. It takes like no time at all to get all 5 of those. And then we have got the Apocalypse tiers, which are essentially going to level up in difficulty as you get through them. Now, as we know, there is an absolute buttload of Apocalypse tiers. The Apocalypse tiers do go, pretty sure, all the way up to 40, which takes some bloody time to say the least. So you need the most efficient ways of being able to do this. So starting off, we are going to do this in sort of like a gradient tier challenge. Obviously, get through the main storyline, go through your first Taria guitar, and that is going to essentially give you guys exactly what you need to be able to play through absolutely everything that we've got here. Now, when we look at everything else, we are looking at everything as an overall. Leveling is going to work on a tier gradient listing. This is especially if you are a solo player. If you are a team player, you can jump into Taria Guitar and jump straight to the 3rd stage of things and just keep grinding as that team. But with solo players, I know there are a lot of you, myself included, and there are a lot of people that are trying to play this on their own. This is, as if you're not a Devastator, it's pretty damn difficult. Now, what we're going to be doing is actually quite simple, and we're going to be starting off with expeditions. Now, hear me out, because I know full well that the expeditions are going to drive you about as mad as they did drive me, mainly because we've had that content now for so long. Now, the way that expeditions actually works now do not work the way they used to. We don't have challenge tiers. Obviously, we've now got the Apocalypse tiers, so they have replaced that quite heavily. You can now go into an expedition on a Apocalypse tier 19, Apocalypse tier 23, Apocalypse tier 34. You can just go in and utilize that Apocalypse tier to get to the level gradient. Now, you do end up with slightly less XP per minute if you run this, but you will guarantee that you will complete that expedition every single looping time round. You will not fail it. You will just be able to jump in, go and do it, complete it, get your loot, of which you can also pick up Apocalypse gear from, and you can get all of the good stuff that you would have got via Taria Guitar as if it was just a normal process. But you are going to be in expeditions, and you are going to do that until it becomes pretty damn easy. After that point, or if you're in a team, you are going to be skipping through to the next stage, which is the Taria Guitar. Now, the Taria Guitar is a very interesting place because there are a lot of cool factors that you guys will need to interpret into your farming method. First of all, again, if you are a low level, you don't want to do expeditions. My recommendation is to take the first couple of rooms, which will be a actually pretty standard set of rooms because they won't be boss fights. These are going to be pretty simple fights for you guys to go into. The Proving Grounds, we have got the Catacombs, and we have got the Temple of Anomaly if you're feeling like you're a little bit braver. These 3 right here are rinse and repeatable. Now, they are not as good as if you would go to, say, the Father's Sanctum right at the end. The XP is a lot better in that. But with them being so earlier on in Taria Guitar, it means that you can rinse and repeat them. Now, each one of these has got 3 attempts. So because you've got 3 attempts, you can do this quite easily. And make sure you take note of the farming method for this. You will essentially jump into one of these events. You will go and complete it. And while the timer counts down, you will press your pause button, and you will restart that whole cycle. Because you have 3 attempts, you can rinse and repeat that 3 times. Now, the early doors, it doesn't make much sense to do so. You can just run on in and you can rinse and repeat it that way. Complete it, run back, complete it, run back. Now, once you get through to the next part of this, which is going to be like the maximum levels of XP and the fastest way to gain your XP, this is going to be for the team-based basis. Or if you are a higher level, you've got a build made, you've got a substantial build made that is hitting very high numbers, then at that point you can then start looking at the Father's Sanctum. Now, the Father's Sanctum is the final boss in Taria Guitar, and this is by no means a joke. This is not a joke whatsoever. The Father's Sanctum is a decent level and the enemies will be of a +3 variant, which means that they are going to be definitely higher than you. Now, what you need to do is either have confidence in your build that you can take out the boss quite quickly. I know a lot of people are taking them out right now in about 20 to 30 seconds. If you can do that with your build, go ahead. If you can't, and this is a lot more of a struggle for you, you're in the earlier stages, because realistically, and like a lot of these guides, the game's been out a bloody day and a half. So let's be real about how we're facing this one right now. When we look into the Father's Sanctum, you are going to want to rinse and repeat. You do exactly the same thing as what I said previously. You take out the boss, you restart that event, you then jump in and take the boss out again, restart it again, and you get 3 rinses through that. Well, essentially, the way that that will work will mean that you get 3 loads of XP, 3 loads of loot, and the loot XP is just absolutely redonkulous. And as far as actually being able to farm this, Father's Sanctum is going to be the best way for you guys to gain your XP and level up that Apocalypse tier, level up that Ascension level, and make sure that you can become as powerful as you possibly can be. Along the way, you will obtain a load of loot, and make sure that you are looking at that loot. For the Apocalypse loot is going to be mental again. You've got 3 mods on each slot, and you've also able to take that and make a build out of those. That would be my recommendation. Now, once you have actually done that and you've managed to get a sustainable build, you are strong enough to just keep rinsing and repeating. What I would say is to get around halfway. Now, halfway point for me would probably be the mid sector of the map. I would probably say maybe the throne room, or rather at Father's Chambers. And once you start to get to more the boss fight aspects on the map are the skulls. Now, you can rinse and repeat these and gain a decent level of XP for them. So as you go through Tarigata, you will find that on your map you will have skulls on here. These are bosses. These will be the boss fights that you will come up against. Although there are some other ones that dot around the map, these 3 are the ones you want to focus on. These 3 are the ones you want to rinse and repeat with. So once you get to a certain point and you can now just rinse and repeat this, you want to maximize your XP as much as you can. So if you're killing them fast, you run in, you get through to the Plaza of Worthy, take out the first boss, rinse and repeat that 3 times. Get through all the way down to here where you've got the altar of Ocreal. You want to rinse and repeat that 3 times, and then you want to run through to Father's Sanctum, rinse and repeat that 3 times, and route straight back to the beginning of this, and do it all over again. Now, this is going to be a tedious move, and a lot of people will forget that there is sort of like a motive of a looter shooter where you do have to rinse and repeat and farm and do the same thing over and over again, and people see that as quote-unquote poor content. That is not the case at all. This is the fastest way to farm, and these are the level gradients that you need to be getting through to be able to get through to that high level min-max build. Now, that's all we've got time for today, and that is my personal journey that I'm going to be taking throughout this, and it's going to be a tedious one, but it is indeed going to be enjoyable at all. If you guys want to make sure you watch that and tune into my journey, we are going live most days on the channel at the minute, so if you want to see that, make sure you've got the post notifications turned on and smash the beautiful blue thumbs up. We also might be going live on Twitch for some extended gameplay. If you want to tune in for that, then make sure, again, head down to the description, head over to the Twitch channel and drop a follow. Thank you so much again for watching, guys. Appreciate all of your faces. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the clouds.